Swali itaulizwa vile kahawa iliharibika hapo mbeleni, ama vile KFA iliharibika hapo mbeleni, ama vile KCC iliharibika hapo mbeleni. Ni nani atakayeulizwa maswali haya ndio tupate majibu? Ni Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta ambaye alikuwa waziri miezi 9, ama Mheshimiwa Ruto ambaye alikuwa waziri miezi 3, ama ni Bwana Kibaki ambaye alikuwa waziri miaka 30?
All right, seems it began even before they were one, that is Uhuru Kenyatta and by then Deputy President William Ruto. And this is what we have also today in the People Daily. Team to meet Ruto in peacemaking efforts. The group of Kikuyu and Kalenjin elders to later convene joint meeting with President Gachagua. Efforts to reconcile President William Ruto and Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua are in top gear after a team comprising, I should say, of elders from both the Kikuyu and Kalenjin leaders met with the latter, should read us, I think is the typo there, over the weekend in a bid to bring the two together. The team, which is expected to meet with Ruto, already met with Gachagua in Eldoret in the presence of Uasin Gishu women representatives, Representative Gladys Bose-Shilley, and sources privy to the ongoing conflicts between the two said that the Council of Elders had already reached out to Ruto and are waiting for State House to set a date to meet with him before convening a joint meeting between the two former allies turned antagonists. It is understood that a senator from Mount Kenya region who has been acting as the go-between the president and Gachagua due to the cordial relationship he enjoys from both has been doing everything possible to reconcile them. What about you two? Are you this senator who's been doing this bidding? Maybe you can you can tell us. So already this matter is very serious. Huh? If now elders are convening and talking to try and broker peace, it seems things are not very well in Kenya Kwanza.
Thank you, Dibala.
And I can remember also, before you go on, I think the beginning of this year, I had Senator Wamatinga on the show, and but then we had sentiments regarding how also the bank should change within Kenya Kwanza. People were saying, oh, you know, they're not getting the best share of what they should as far as the Mount region is concerned. And it really brought a lot of reactions from the Mount Kenya region. And I think the deputy president also intervened at some point, and that matter went down. And since then, he's never surfaced for this show anymore. I've never seen him elsewhere, also commenting on Mount Kenya politics, as it were. So things are not really well as far as your region is concerned, if now you're seeking the audience of the president to reconcile.
Dibal, thank you. I think I want to first confirm that I'm not that senator, and I wish I was.
But you know the senator?
No, I do not know.
It is Wamatinga?
I do not. Maybe Senator Manzo has information that I do not have. I do not know which senator it is. And I think the senator, whoever it is, I think is a good senator because if there are differences between the president and the deputy, because I'm not aware of any direct differences that are there, I think I've heard the deputy president complain about some people who have proximity to the president of undermining him. I have not heard the deputy president complain about the president. I have not heard the president complain about the deputy president. And so I am not privy to any information that would make me conclude that there are differences between the president and the deputy president.
But you're privy that there was a meeting?
But
yes, of course, there was a meeting, okay?
Yes, we have that information now from the news. There were...
before the news, you were privy to it, or also you're reading with us?
Yes, the meeting between, elders of the two communities, and as reported by the People Daily, in the presence of the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, the Honorable Bose Shilley. I would want to think that the elders from both sides met to discuss about the concerns that the Deputy President raised about some people or some leaders per the Deputy President that have proximity to the President and that are undermining him. So I think that is why I would want to believe that is why this particular meeting between elders is happening. Otherwise, as of, like I've said, of differences, direct differences between the President and his deputy, I am not aware. I have not heard anyone, either of them,
But
complain
it
that
really
the other
flies in
one.
the face of what you're actually telling us. There's a meeting to reconcile, but there's no difference, as per your knowledge. Everything is
the
okay.
BAL has any difference.
But we have elders who are meeting. I mean, it's really come to a cropper right now. If elders are involved and you are seeking audience of a president, you can't just sit here and tell us that everything is okay.
I think there could be differences, but not any that has been reported. I think that is what I'm saying. There is no difference that has been reported between the president himself and the deputy president.
So what is the issue? What is everyone bickering about? Then I'm wondering, why is all this noise all about? We're talking either here, the meetings. What is all this?
Dibal, unless we maybe want to make a conclusion from what we have heard people talk about. But you will agree with me that there is no single media house that has reported the deputy president of complaining about the president himself, or the president of complaining about the deputy president himself. It is about people who have proximity to both of them. And that is why I mentioned the Honorable Gakuya here. The Honorable Kimani Gujiri, for example, also has been on the news. These are two that have been on the news complaining that the deputy president is being undermined. And so I think those are people who have proximity to the deputy president. I heard the deputy president complain about some politicians in the Rift Valley who are trying to, who are undermining him and trying to kupanga siasa ya mlima. So. But I mean, nobody has reported of any differences between the two. So I would want to believe that this audience that the elders are seeking with the president maybe is to convince the president or to persuade the president then to talk about the young leaders from Rift Valley that the deputy president has complained about.
Okay.
Not the president himself. It's not reported.
Thank you.
Unless we want to make inferences ourselves, but it has not been reported that the two have any difference.
Correct.
I have not read or heard such news.
All right. So you are under the DP party or the Jubilee party? Which party are you?
I'm in UDA.
You're in UDA, okay,
Yes.
you're in UDA.
Yes.
All right, I think that will have been the wrong question that I would have asked you. But there's a quest to actually collapse the Jubilee party or the all constituents party within UDA, within Kenya Kwanza as it is right now.
Yes.
And see, why is that quest and how is the reception of the other parties, constituents from Mount Kenya with that particular suggestion?
One thing you may want to agree with me, Dibal, again, is that I think this is borrowed from what happened on the run-up to 2017 general election, where all the constituent parties of the then Jubilee coalition collapsed to form the Jubilee Party, on which the president, then the Honorable Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, ran for 2017 elections. I think that is what then Kenya Kwanza is borrowing from, that why don't we collapse these constituent parties and form one big party that will be, almost a movement come 2027, so that then we can get re-elected. But talking about Central Kenya, I think almost all parties that are in Kenya Kwanza, other than UDA, though they may not have collapsed formally, but I think they are already working very well with Kenya Kwanza, because we talk about DP, led by the Honorable Muturi, now the Attorney General, You talk about Honorable Kinjuri's TSP. You talk about Honorable Moses Kuria's Chama cha Kazi. And I think these are parties that are, they may not have been folded, but they are parties that are ready. I want to believe they are ready
to be folded.
To be folded. I may not want to speak for them because I'm not authorized to speak on their behalf. But I think they are parties that already have shown they are willing to work with UDA in Kenya Kwanza. And I think they may accept to collapse them.
So you think with this rift that is happening right now, they'll still hold? Or maybe they might flinch back a bit and bide their time to see how everything will pan out?
I think
because everyone is thinking, okay, if this is current state of UDA, with also the elections which are ongoing currently, and we have all the simmering issues arising, Wamatinga has been raising concerns about how they're being treated within Kenya Kwanza. You think folding your parties will be the wisest of ideas to take?
No, I think... where I come from, Adiba, we say that the only, if you allow me to translate directly, the only bad big thing is a wound. That is what we say.
Is that a wound?
A wound. The only, anything big is good, apart from a big wound. Yes. So I think if we form a big party, going by what we normally believe in and say in our region, like I've said, then a bigger party is better than a conglomeration of small parties.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Even a big wound becomes, it's a small wound that becomes a big festering wound at the end of the day. Right?
Well.
So you need to tame it while it's still, you put up some band-aid solutions while it's still a teeny tiny, teensy-wincy wound that is there.
I think I would say that already what we have had in Kenya Kwanza does not indicate that it could grow into a big wound. I think the squabbles that are there, the differences, the differences that are there are reconcilable, and I think people just need to sit down and talk to one another, and probably we have not been meeting to discuss matters. Unity as much, but now with the emerging issues, I think it is now time then that the party leader, His Excellency the President, then maybe thinks about bringing people together, allowing people to ventilate and, say where they feel, what they feel needs to be improved on. The changes they would like to see, then we discuss, have negotiations, because negotiation is a game of give and take. And then, for example, you are told that, of course, I hear you, you want this and that, but then you see there is this and that, and so we can only meet in the middle. So I think a big one party, a big party would be good. And anyway, Diban, if recent history is anything to go by, I think so far, no president, apart from the late President Moi, went for the second election with the party that they came in with in the first election. You look at Kibaki, elected on NAC in 2002, but in 2007 he had to form PNU. You look at Uhuru, elected on TNA in 2013. In 2017, he had to form Jubilee. Now we have President William Ruto, elected on UDA in 2022. Probably
a super mega UDA
probably
in 2027.
Probably he need another bigger party. It could maybe it will not be UDA, it will be called something, but under the leadership of His Excellency the President. Probably, I do not know what his plans are, but if then recent history is anything to go by, I think every other president, apart from Moi, has always wanted to have the parties that sponsored him, that were in his coalition to collapse and form one big party.
All right, so we need to finalize on it, but I needed just to ask what sort of short changings have you experienced, you as a party within the Kenya Kwanza administration, right? That you're being shortchanged. This is what Wamatinga has been saying. So we want to know, what is this dealt unfair hand that the Mount Kenya is actually feeling that they're not getting a fair share when they sit there on the table?
Something is coming to my mind, and I don't think whether it's good to say it. I think we could also be, Dibal, if you have children at home, if you have a child, and then there is a long, you space before you get another child, you spend very long years. If you finally, get another baby, the baby that was used to, all the attention, all the love and everything, is most likely going to treat the other sibling that has come in as an intruder, as somebody who has come to destabilize, the situation. Why I'm saying that is, for the last 20 years, we have produced the president. Kibaki for 10 years, and Uhuru for 10 years. And now, we only have the deputy president, of course, which is a smaller seat. So probably, we are still, I don't know, probably we are still having problems,
playing the second
fiddle. That now we only have a deputy president and not the president. Probably, could be, maybe it is not even the right thing for me to say, but probably it could be one of the things that could be affecting us. Because, every human being has the psychological beat, has the emotional beat, so maybe psychologically or maybe subconsciously, we suffer from the fact that now the president does not come from our region. And so sometimes when maybe small problems, we encounter small problems, sometimes we could even magnify them. But I think I wouldn't want to think that we have suffered any isolation or any disservice from President Ruto's government. Well, I don't know, but I think we are comfortable looking at the seats that we were given by this government. I think we are grateful. We cannot consider ourselves as outsiders in this government. But of course, we are human beings, like I've said. We have our psychology. The history should not be forgotten. But I think we have not gotten a raw deal. I think that is what I would want to submit.
You've not gotten a raw deal?
Yes.
So it sounds like Mount Kenya is suffering from post-performance depression. Yeah. after the presidency, now this is just the smartings of the, and the depressive moods of, not really having the presidency, as it were. Even as we concluded, you wanted to say something?
Got a raw deal.
Eh? They got a raw deal.
They got a raw
so,
deal.
Honorable Newton is not telling the truth.
You know what is government? We need to learn every day. We learn. What is government? First is Ministry of Roads. Secondly, Ministry of Health. Thirdly, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And then also, important is Minister of Finance, but you see Minister of Finance distributes, and the biggest chunk goes to roads, water, and those things. And again, the permanent secretaries are most powerful people you could have. So you may have a minister, but they are totally helpless. They only drive policy. So when it comes to that, to sharing of government, you see, you can be given ministries which are inconsequential, where you are hardly doing anything for the country or for your people. You're just running national policy. So when it comes to that, I think Central Kenya has a raw deal. And I wish this could be rotated quite often. That's what President Kibaki used to do, and even more. They used to rotate, so that different regions can benefit at different times. But from the look of things now, someone like Murkomen is not likely to be rotated soon. And you see, that is the ministry which goes up to every village and has a huge allocation of budget and has a lot of deals going on, and it determines, you know, what businessmen. A lot of these businessmen gave their money for the election, so they expected business back from the government. Now, when you don't get back any business for that region, you are killing the region. You see, if you have the deputy president, you know, the president controls the ministers, but the deputy president is an assistant. So the deputy president seat does not bring any goodies as such in terms of cash to where he comes from. So he may have been influential, and it is worse when he's disconnected. Then he's just there. He's just almost inconsequential. So in organization of government, I think rotation is important so that every region gets a fair share of government, and if you don't balance the government, they know Ruto without Central Kenya. I can assure you, he's a president because of Central Kenya. And during the Uhuru time, there was no Uhuru without Ruto. Uhuru was because Ruto was. There would have been no Uhuru without Rift Valley. So it's a high time, you know, you balance the whole country so that it doesn't become a place for two regions only. Every Kenyan is important, and every region of Kenya is important.
All right. Do you think in any way also the position of the Prime Cabinet Secretary has clawed back on the vigor and vitality of the office of the Deputy President in any way?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
So, from where I sit, I don't think so. I think the office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary is nothing near in terms of power to the office of the Deputy President, and it's the least of the concerns that the Deputy President should have.
You know, there's power and also there is activity.
That's what has eroded the deputy.
That's what I'm asking. There's power and there's activity. There's you being busy, so that maybe you're not really embroiled in this regional politics.
The issue of the regional politics, that is, I want to agree with Mr. Kiunjuri that it is a self-created problem.
For the Deputy President?
Yeah, it did not have to be in that place. But I wanted to also make a comment on the creation of a big party. That issue, I was in South Africa and I was seated with a member of the ANC who is an ambassador now. And they have a unique system. In ANC, it is a party list. So you campaign for the party, and then the number that is on top of you can become MP and so on. And then if you have 50% of parliament and you are number 50, let's say you are 100 of you, then 50 becomes MP, and then the others, you don't become MPs. So he was telling me, in our system, which is different a bit from Kenya, in our system, if somebody at the top of the party list drops off, maybe by death, or he's tired, he retires, he doesn't want politics anymore, space is created and people go up, okay? So he said, for me, I wanted to get out. So I asked, and I was given an ambassadorial position. So although I was dropped off this way, somebody else came up to be a member of parliament, but I became an ambassador. So he said, within a big political party, it is easier to share whatever is there for whatever you fought for as a political party. So I am imagining a situation that if we have, 20 political parties forming a coalition, as opposed to one political party where all of us are in the list, whether you are in this party or the other party, you are together now. So maybe out of the 200 and whatever members of parliament, you only got 150, but you still had all these contenders. So these are the people that you will absorb in other areas in government from your political party, and you're able also to do some regional balancing. Some will go to cabinet, some will go to parastatal, some will go to diplomatic corps and so on. So I think a big political party is able to bring in interest and fair sharing of whatever is there, as opposed to a situation where you all go in, and then now it becomes a bit chaotic. You don't know who is to be given what, and then it goes back to tribalism, regionalism, and so on. So I think we should strive towards a big political party. On the issue of shortchanging Mount Kenya, I would want to bring in another aspect to this idea. For those of us who are from other regions, we have always felt that our brothers and sisters from the Mount Kenya region and other regions there have benefited in the government as opposed to us. And I'm not just talking about positions, because that argument has been made. But I'm talking about real issues. Like now, even during Mwai Kibaki's time, during Uhuru's time, you would hear the national government has allocated 2 billion to pay off debts of coffee farmers. Now, I don't have coffee in the coast region. I don't have any industry like coffee in the coast region. But my taxes are being used to pay debts for a particular crop. I, on the other hand, have been agitating for the establishment of a proper coconut industry in the coast, because it is ours. Bixa industry in the coast, it is ours. But the government is not moving. You get, even allocating 500 million shillings, even 100 million, is a whole problem. But here you are, you hear 1 billion for the tea sector, the 2 billion for the tea sector. I don't know, 1 billion for pyrethrum. Then I remember in Uhuru's time, 1 billion was given to Miraa farmers as compensation because Somalia had closed the market. What about the coast region? What about the northeastern region? What about Turkana, Samburu, and all these other areas? What about the northern frontier districts? So I want to say, when you start saying that we are being shortchanged in Mount Kenya, and then we are seeing this even in the budget, I think when you are eating, you eat quietly. Just keep quiet, because you may annoy those of us who are hungry, and we are watching you eating, and you are claiming you are not eating. And we are hungry. We can see you've cut the cake in certain ways that we are not getting. And you are there saying we are hungry, we are being shortchanged. I think we have to be sensitive in this country. That's why this argument of 1 shilling, 1 vote, that we are being shortchanged, they get me so angry. Because it is not true. It is lies upon lies and upon lies, because it is politics of long time ago, and they're trying to replay it, and it's not fair. Let's just say, in this country, let's be fair. So on this thing of shortchanging resource allocation, and if you listen to Bill Okero speaking, he did an analysis of studies of resource allocation between Kiambu County and Kakamega County. They have almost same population, but you see the difference in terms of allocation, and I'm talking national budget, and it has been continuing for a long time. So when people say that stop this talk, it's hurting us. It's not good even for our party. It is hurting us. I think people need to be sensitive. You raise the issue of the elders.
There is 1 kilometer.
Yeah, we have to react.
You wanted to give an extension of 1 kilometer.
We have to react, because it is wrong. In fact, even this thing of the deputy president talking about uniting the mountain, now the discussion is, why can't we have a deputy president uniting the coast, and another deputy president uniting the northeastern, another one uniting Nairobi, another one uniting the western? Let us not go that direction. It hurts a lot of us in this country who believe we should be one country. And just be sensitive. Whatever you are getting, it's not that we are not seeing, but we are saying that change should come gradually. Like now, CDF has been equal to all of us. And yes, some counties with some constituencies with smaller numbers are getting more, because their population is small as opposed to those ones. But what about the roads? What about these things I'm talking about? What about the the writing off of loans? What about all these projects? You know, and then you still want to be the same, you still want to get more, even on CDF. The same like Lamu. That's the only place that they are getting something. Alafu sasa unataka kuwa the same level. I think let's just be sensitive. On the issue of elders, having met with Gachagua and they want to meet now with the president, from where we sit, you know, you can offend me and you don't know, okay? And somebody can annoy me and I don't know. I mean, and they're annoying me, but they don't know, okay? So maybe maybe Gachagua is feeling there's a problem, okay? And maybe he's feeling there's something and he's calling elders and what, because I don't believe those elders were sent by the president, because we have never had, like it has been said here, we have never had the president complaining about the deputy. Previously, Uhuru came out clearly to say, I have a problem with my deputy. And so when they talked about elders meeting, it was clear that there was actually a problem. But in this case, we have not had, in fact, we've only heard from the side of Gachagua, and he's not complaining about the president. He's complaining about some people, he says, are around the president. So this elders issue, I think, is being overblown by media. If someone has an issue...
How is it being overblown? It's just being reported. There was a meeting, so and the Honorable Ruto has actually alluded that there was a meeting of elders.
Why I'm saying it's...
How is it being overblown?
Okay, why I'm saying it's being overblown is because it is made to look like the president has a problem with Gachagua, Gachagua has a problem with the president.
But this is what
Yet,
is being
that is not
here.
the truth. What the deputy president has complained about are people around the president, not the president.
So why would he seek the audience of the president?
That's the thing I'm saying.
People around the president are the president.
Let me make my point. I'm saying you could have a problem and I don't know about it. So this is not a problem, and this is not like Uhuru and Ruto, previous government. I think the media is trying to create something there, which is not there. It is just not there, because the little I know about the president and how we have interacted, he's a guy of extremely high tolerance. I don't think an issue like this would be such that it would occupy his mind because this and that. I don't think so. This, I think, is an issue affecting Gachagua. And Gachagua needs to ask himself why he has a problem. Because according to me, if he just sits down and do some self-reflection, he would see that it is some of his utterances, like 1 man, 1 vote, one whatever, 1 shilling. Those things hurt a lot of us, you know. Whether you believe it or not, it's not in your place. It's not in your constitutional position to say such things. You know, when you go and you are attacking other leaders, you know, you go to a place where those leaders are there in their home areas and you are attacking them. What you are doing, you are creating a problem, because you know, physics has said to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So why create those issues? So those are not issues to do with the president. Those are issues you are creating yourself. So even these elders, you are creating those issues again.
Okay. But
according to me,
but I need to just remind you. No, let me take you back. Let me take you.
Angekaa aangalie aone iko maneno hapa, wacha turekebishe hapa na pale, and you don't need to involve the president.
You know, the beauty is sometimes when, because we in the same template, the same scenario that we were in 2018, moving forward with the deputy president and the president then, Uhuru Kenyatta. And they were starkly denying everyone that, oh, this is a creation of media. There is no rift between the deputy president and the president. All is well in the house until hell broke loose, right? Those sentiments of Kieleweke and Tangatanga, those were tropes that actually developed from the shows with Honorable Mwaura, actually. saying that there is a Kieleweke and there is a Tanga within.
Dibal, the president
Now today
at that
you say
time,
there is nothing.
Yeah, it's the president who actually said there are Tanga people. It is the president who said it at that time.
Yes.
Now we don't have that.
Before he said that,
we don't have
those are
that.
the conversations that were actually happening, you know, also in the newsrooms. And you're startly denying that this is a creation of media. So I think time will tell and truth will out to see if you know, time will tell and see who is speaking or who is fooling whom at the end of the day. We remain with a few minutes, and I don't want just to bring another topic because I don't think we'll do justice to it. You want to say something on YouTube?
Thank you, Dibala. I think I want to react to some of the things that the Honorable Mungatana has said. What I meant by saying that we do not get a road deal, I was talking about positions. But as per division and distribution of resources, we have historically, we have been getting a road deal.
You've listened to
of
what
course, I've
Mungatana has
listened
said.
to Senator Mungatana's argument that we have been having deaths of coffee farmers, tea farmers written off every now and then. I think I want to refute that. I think I would want Senator Mungatana to address the viewers and tell them when last deaths of our farmers were written off, because I think it has not been happening, and most of our farmers, coffee farmers and tea farmers, are actually, as we speak, servicing very huge debts. In fact, there has been a problem.
I thought they're receiving bonuses right now. Just going by what we do have,
Of course, I know about that cherry fund.
Yes.
Cherry fund, we are yet to get 80 shillings per kg for coffee. But we got 40. But what I was just about to say, so that I do not lose my line of thinking, is that in fact in the mountain people have been complaining that the people who have been getting the debts written off are sugar farmers. Even if you look at the amounts, I may not have the figures now, but you look at the amounts, and the sugar farmers have been getting big reliefs. So I think that is something I think I want to refute, because Dibal, I've listened to Senator Mungatana say that roads, that we have better roads, and so even if they get the per capita, call it per capita, I mean whatever comes to CDF in areas that are less populated, of course if you divide by the number of people there, of course they get more per head. But Senator Mungatana says, what about the roads? Those ones do not have roads, and so of course they should benefit in that manner. But I think we also need to ask ourselves, when we talk about roads, how many road users are there? Go to Kiambu, for example, and they do not come from Kiambu. Kiambu, I come from Murang'a. Talking about the roads that are there, I mean, how many people use those roads? Talking about hospitals, because Dibal, again, I have looked at that basis of division of revenue, and I saw that, hospitals are also considered and given some percentage. But how many people are served by the hospitals in those populous regions? How many people are served by hospitals in the less populated areas? And I think, because I'm not a selfish person, I think our argument about one vote, one man, one vote, 1 shilling.
No,
we are not, because I support it, we are not saying that the other parameters in other areas should not be considered. Of course, we understand that there are also other things, other challenges that are unique to the less populated areas. And of course, we know one of them is, a big land mass with few people, so that even reaching out to people is a challenge. And we are of course aware of that. But what we are saying is that the percentage that is given to population, because for that basis, I think population is being given about, I think it's 17%, that we raise it to about at least 30%. Land mass still be considered, let us consider these hospitals, roads, but then we raise population, because what is happening to our region, Dibal, is that sometimes we are populous and we may have even roads that other leaders from other areas are talking about. But we also happen to have the poorest of the poor in our regions. So what is happening in central Kenya is that we get, for example, CDF bursaries, every child getting about 2,000, while in other areas we have children or students getting upwards of 10,000 Kenya shillings. And we are saying this is, of course, an imbalance that needs to be addressed, that even as we consider those other things, yes, the road network in some areas may not be as good as it is maybe in central region. But then, do we consider only that? What do we do about the big population, about children that cannot raise fees, about bursaries? We are told there are some areas in this country where allocations of CDF and county allocations are even able to take children abroad to study, while in our area, we are hardly able to give bursaries that can sustain a student even in a day school. And so we are saying, let us be considerate also of the populous areas. And one thing I support the Deputy President on also is that this revenue is collected from people. And the more people are, the more they contribute. Senator Mugatana, he will get your time. The more people are, the more they contribute. So you cannot say that because they have roads, that because they have hospitals. And in fact, during Uhuru's regime, the road network in every other place has actually been improved. So you cannot say, ignore those people. They have roads. Their children do not need bursaries. They do not need more allocations. What we are saying is, let us sit on a table. Let us consider the challenges that affect every region. Yes, this region does not have roads, but this region has so many people. They cannot be able to give their children bursaries. This region, we address all these challenges because we are Kenyans. All of us are Kenyans. But let us not be like Central Kenya is advanced. They should not complain, even if there are many. Central Kenya is also paying much.
Yeah, can I refute on just that one?
But also to finish, take cognizance of time as well.
It is wrong to say population, and Senator Ruto, I'm not talking against Central Kenya.
Yes.
Because even Kakamega has a very high population. Yes. But it is wrong to say population, even Kisii has a very high population. It is wrong to say population because you have high population, you contribute more. I think we need to look at the facts. If you go and look at how much the port of Mombasa is giving to the exchequer, the port of Mombasa, the sea is bringing so much, and then we don't get the benefit. It comes there, and it goes to all these. Now you start saying it is population, it is what, and because many of us are not sitting in that treasury, many of us from the coast are not sitting in that treasury, then we are disadvantaged. So all we are saying is that be fair. I think be fair, and most important, high officers should not come down to this kind of debate because you should be representing all of us. I'm saying with a lot of humility, be fair to these counties that were left behind. And they were left behind, Mheshimiwa, because in 1965, Sessional Paper number 10, they created, Dibal, we had just gotten independence in 1963. Within 18 months, a paper was hurriedly prepared. And that paper by T.J. Mboya was saying, let us invest in high potential areas. And the reason why we were left behind, Tana River and those other far-flung areas, was because of deliberate government decision to say, let us invest in high potential areas. So all we are saying is that now something like CDF, where the formula happens to be favoring these areas, don't touch it, just leave it. And remember all these times that we have been behind. At home, people who are saying, sisi hatuna barabara, tukienda kwingine tunaona barabara ya kwenda mbinguni, na ingine napita na chini. Na sisi huko kwetu hatuna barabara. I'm just saying, please, don't go that way. I agree, let us be fair, but it hurts us when people try to make us, you know, like we are not part of this country.
Let's leave it at that. Dan Manzo, your closing remarks?
Yeah, the truth of the matter is their teams try to reconcile, you know, the president and his deputy. We have seen a few activities here and there suggesting that
all is not well.
All is not well, and especially when the president is away and things are better at home, it stresses him very much while away. And I want to say that, you know, we have to balance the country. We have to make sure that there is equalization of, you know, the regions. The fact that you may have a high population and a school which is a day school, you have somebody else who has to travel 100 or 200 or 300 kilometers to access a school, and without a road and without security. So we need to make sure that, you know, every Kenyan is served. When we collect all taxes, we are all equal, and therefore we should distribute equally.
Fantastic. Or when you do your closing remarks?
So thank you, Dibal. I think
Briefly.
Yes, very briefly. With me, I'm saying we are very fair on this allocation of revenue. I'm saying the challenges that the other areas have, let them be addressed. But let us also consider population. That is what I'm saying.
Thank you.
This is Kenya. All of us are Kenyans. We do not want any region left behind. And I think that's the only thing I want to say. Let us, we will support the issue of having road network improved in areas that have poor networks.
Thank you.
Let them also support our challenge of high population with low allocations.
Fantastic. All right, and the bell tolls. Thank you very much. I think it's time to wind up. Very engaging, very informative, very compelling.